and some of that stuff, at least, that other online players have left enough notes that it'll call them out. Not all of them, not all the time. And I don't think people sometimes call those games as like being antagonistic to the player, and I don't think I totally agree with that. But it's just that they have like pranks, yeah. They'll fuck with you.
Yeah, they think it's a little funny. They never get tired of the joke where you see a guy in front of you, and if you don't immediately make a right angle out of that entranceway to guard yourself against some sneaky little guy comes and blindsides you from the side every time.
Yeah. And, as soon as you get to the way one enemy starts to act, they put him in some sort of weird new context, and you're like, well, I didn't know I was going to have to, like, fight a guy with a knife inside of a jar full of knives. This isn't fun anymore. But then that's what makes it fun. And because we are really, again, trying to focus on things we love and actually enjoy, you can tell this is about to be a real banger episode of The Big Bang Theory. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Kyle.
And this is a podcast where we talk about the television series that ended not quite a decade ago, about 8 years ago. The rate we're watching it, we're almost exactly a decade behind at any time we're discussing an episode, so that lines up nicely. And, what we do is we watch this dang old show, this classic, beloved American comedy. We try to figure out why the hell anybody else likes it. And honestly, to some degree, we've almost abandoned that mission because, sometimes it's just, there's not a good answer to that question. And so, but today, to get into it, I guess we have watched the fourth episode of the 10th season, which is officially titled The Cohabitation Experimentation. Unofficial fan summary, which reads, when Amy's apartment is flooded, Leonard and Penny invite her to stay with them. Then Amy proposes to Sheldon that they live together as an experiment. Howard and Bernadette wonder about wanting to know the gender of their baby. Unfortunately, Raj knows. Kyle, I think it left out the only part of this I liked at all, which is, here's my feelings about this, I think wraps it up. This was not an episode of a comedy. This was, I don't know if you ever watched this, I saw it before we ever started this endeavor, and it was honestly the main thing that kind of colored my understanding of the Big Bang Theory, and that's not fair, I let the lamestream media lead me astray without doing my own investigation. But it was this video on YouTube showing scenes of the Big Bang Theory without a laugh track, and showing that without the laugh track, they're often just having serious and uncomfortable situations with awkward pauses.
Yeah.
And this feels like one of those. This felt like several couples, or, I guess there's Bernadette and Wolowitz on the one hand, and Amy and Sheldon on the other. So the two couples going through it. It's like they're just having real, genuine relationship problems that they're getting through, and there aren't any jokes about it. Like, they'll laugh, the laugh track will come up, or I guess I keep saying that it is a live studio audience. People who hate us have really pointed out it's a live studio audience. And
and we know that because sometimes the things they go ha 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 or woo at don't make any sense.
Yeah, and that reminds us why we're really the cool guys. But so the laugh track, I can't even tell you, when or why it'll come up. It seems like anytime, either of these, any of these wacky characters, so it does something a little offbeat, there's a ha ha ha. But it really is like Bernadette and Wolowitz, their whole deal is, God, we don't know what to know about the baby. We can know, but we don't want to know. Our friend knows this is miserable. And, there's a gag where they keep calling Raj over and over again because he's a fink who, pried into their file at the hospital and knows the gender of the baby. And so they keep calling him over and over again and then hanging up because they don't want to know. that's as much of a joke as there is, though. And other than that, they're really just expressing what seems to be like the genuine anxiety of, what is the gender? Do we want to know the gender? How much does knowing the gender even matter? And then the Sheldon and Amy thing is, this is a contrivance to have it so that finally, as just couples, Penny and Sheldon are going to share Leonard's apartment. Did I say Penny and Leonard or whatever? The two people that are supposed to be together are in Leonard's apartment, and then Amy and Sheldon are going to stay in Penny's apartment, and they are now separated, sleeping together as couples alone. Big thing. And so with Sheldon and Amy, again, it's just they're just trying to get through a night of what it's like to sleep with another person. And how awkward and uncomfortable it could be if you're not like on the same page and don't have like each other's like rhythms, or you're not used to the space. And there aren't jokes about it. It's just them getting through it.
I did have that. I had that thought, like a big joke in this episode is, they're sharing a bed for like the first time overnight, and Sheldon, shoves Amy off the bed by just slowly working his way towards. And I was like, boy, that is actually that is 90% of couples fights right there. It's like, that was my first big, and we resolved it, thank God. But that legitimately was like one of the first major fights I ever had with my wife. It's like, who is hogging because it wasn't even that one of us was hogging the middle of the bed. We each thought the other person was hogging the middle of the bed, which is a very difficult conundrum to resolve.
It's the most real thing there is. And you know what? Kudos to The Big Bang Theory for being brave enough to portray it on screen. But you're a comedy show. Like, just highlighting that discomfort isn't itself funny, and it's not even like cringe funny in a way that it's like, can you believe it? I think it really did pretty accurately portray just for the scooting. That is, at least for me, it seems like, you've obviously had this issue. There's like, that is like the number one, like, I don't want to take up too much space myself. I'm obviously losing ground, though. This is, how do I not shove my partner in the middle of the night? And, it can be funny. There's obviously comedy to be had there. If they just didn't bother. And so, and again, it's not mentioned in the summary here, but the only fun, lighthearted thing of the whole episode is when it's Leonard and Penny. What focuses on them sharing an apartment alone for the night. Penny is like, so we're just gonna get to fucking, right? Like, that's what we're doing. That's what it's about. And Leonard's like, oh, I have something so much more whimsical for you. And so they have an underwear dance party, and they have to go to bed together at some point, obviously. But I think the suggestion is that they don't even get around to having sex because Leonard wore himself out so badly trying to dance.
Yes.
But that was it. So go ahead.
No, that was actually I thought this. My main thought with this episode was not that it was super funny, but for whatever reason, this seemed like one where Kaylee Cuoco was having fun. She seems to be having a good time in this episode. She's often these days not called on to do a lot in the plot. She's basically just one of the people whose job it is, alternating between her and Howard, to make snarky one-liners at how absurd Sheldon is being most of the time. But I don't know. She seemed to really put her heart into the snarky one-liners in this one. And then, yes, when she was doing her dancing, she was having a good time.
Yeah, that's something I didn't think about it as much, but it crossed my mind because there's some early scene where, someone says something, maybe it was a joke, couldn't tell you, but they cut to Kaylee Cuoco and, Penny, and her response and she looks like she is genuinely in it and having a nice time, and that like highlighting her response is like the bright part of the scene, even if like the joke isn't really there. And so I do 100% agree with you on that. Like whatever, what she brings, she done brought. And like it's not even the performances are bad. It's I just think aside from her and Leonard, it really was just like take away the laugh track and you just see two unhappy couples trying to figure out a night, But I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, now that you've framed it like that did sort of reframe the episode for me, but I don't disagree with the framing. Now I'm just kind of bummed out.
Well, for a moment there, I said it like that, and I was like, did I overstate it? And then I just remembered there are moments where Bernadette is like, everyone told me I could have done better. And Wolowitz's response to that is, too bad I already put a baby in you. That's great. They love their life. God damn. So, yeah, I think maybe I'm ready for greener pastures. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, sure. This episode, I assume they're going to do more. Like, this does feel like the start of a new status quo where presumably, I don't know for sure, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they ended up like keeping some version of this arrangement going forward. Although I doubt I doubt Leonard and Amy will be in Penny's apartment forever. It feels like if anything, they would eventually switch apartments.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming that's a one-time. Well, I don't know. They said they're going to do it for like 5 weeks or whatever. So I don't know if when we come back, they'll go through all the 5 weeks. But I feel like that's going to be a one-time experiment. And then, they're going to have to move stuff around. And as I say that out loud, I realize that is a question I think that we're talking about is genuinely curious Big Bang Theory fans.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, wow.
What's your nerd thing of the week?
Oh, well, before I get right into it, I want to remind people, as I never do, that when we do not torture ourselves with maintaining the premise of this very podcast, we have a side show which we will not change, because if we did not design this to make ourselves suffer, what even is the purpose? We call it Balls Deep. And that's where we really just focus on the things we actually like. And we do try to, have, it sounds silly, like more than surface level. I don't know. Sometimes we're like, it's fun and I like it, but we try to get more into the things we enjoy. And if you're interested in that at all, you can find that by going to patreon.com/TBBTT. That is the acronym of the Big Bang Theory, patreon.com/TBBTT. And yes, we should do our nerd thing. And Kyle, if you are calling me out to do mine first, I'll admit that when we started, I didn't have it in mind. But my local wonderful movie theater, the Roxy, has been doing this whole month showing films from, I don't even know who puts it together, the Sight and Sound list. And so showing a lot of like, real classy shit, right? And in my current hyper-politicization that I swear I'm not going to get into here and go on some sort of ramble, the other night I saw the 1970 film The Conformist, which, Kyle, do you know anything about this one?
I do not.
Okay, so I didn't know anything about it.
Interesting title.
Yeah, it's I didn't know anything going in, but it's from the year 1970. Director Bernardo Bertolucci. I don't know anything about him. That's just his friggin' name, man.
Did he do Last Tango in Paris?
Ooh, I don't know, but I don't know. That sounds like some classy shit too, right? Quick click. I see he did The Last Emperor. But anyway, that guy. But it's an Italian movie, and it takes place during... it's set in Italy, Rome, and it takes place during the time of Mussolini. And this main character who honestly, I can't even remember his name. I'm not going to look it up. Let's just call him the conformist. Is a member of the Italian fascist secret police. And so it is him kind of living his life and kind of going about carrying out his orders, where he is asked to take out a problematic political target. And so that's kind of the thrust of the film, is seeing him along that journey. But what really complicates it is that maybe he has connections to this target already. Maybe he has people in his life who might not really love the whole fascist thing. Maybe he himself is a person and has had experience that themselves would not align with the movement at all. And so it's kind of an examination of, obviously this man is doing this, but why does he stick to this route? And, what ultimately is he going to get out of it? I'm not spoiling anything. That I think basically summarizes it. And the only other thing I'll add is surprisingly horny. And I'm not saying in like an erotic way. I'm just saying there's a lot of like real like, are we doing it or what kind of looks at people. I think that maybe is just a default thing that happens in Italian films. I don't know. But yeah, that's my recommendation, is The Conformist.
Okay. That pause was not me being like, I hate that recommendation. My problem is I was really hoping I would come up with something while you were making that recommendation. Maybe I should have picked Dark Souls. No, I got something.
It's never too late. Some emo
Dark Souls is really good, guys. But actually, I think my recommendation, also an artsy film I saw recently, but was quite good. Very artsy. It's called The Testament of Anne Lee. It's about a real religious mystic from the 1700s who founded a fringe sect of Christianity called the Shakers.
Is this new?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason they were the Shakers is because, instead of believing that you should sit primly in church, they believed that, you expressed your love of God by like moving and shaking out on the floor. And so the film has a bunch of really interesting, like, scenes of people doing like it's obviously choreographed, but the dancing is supposed to look kind of like spontaneous and crazy. And it's just really interesting. And the music's really, good, but it's good in a way that you have to like 17th and 18th century choral music to like. So I don't know how many people in our audience that's going to describe, but, Chloe Sevigny, however you say her last name
or something.
Yeah. She plays, Anne Lee, and it's a great film. It's a real interesting look into, crazy religious people, although admittedly not the kind of crazy religious people who make everything worse for everyone around them. For the most part,
sure.
They're, as far as crazy religious people go, it seemed like the Shakers were pretty chill, anti-slavery, not super big into persecuting other people, not super like aggressive about converting people, pacifists, everything you could want out of a follower of Jesus. So I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Well, I've seen the trailers for that, and just based on the imagery, I was really interested in seeing it. And I think I must commit, in spite of having really no familiarity whatsoever with choral music. But yeah, that's next on the list, baby.
Yeah. Choral music, I just mean music that doesn't have, that's entirely vocal, that doesn't have a
No, I know what you mean. That is of a chorus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so radical. Hooray for, at least there being good movie times to be had in these otherwise weird and twisted age we live in.
Yep.
Much like the twisted age that came after the man claimed fire, trying to link the fires to give rise to humanity.
God.
That nonetheless he did grow stale and corrupt.
Yes, and slowly the fire of humanity fades from the world and the curse of the undead spreads.
Yeah. That's reality, people. Wake up.
Oh, it's so fucking good though.